we have to continue from where we stopped in the previous class. Of course, we're still on King Lear. And of course, we made mention of the fact that after the whole scenario, we see how King of Britain, King Lear, says something to Cordelia, the youngest daughter, that because of your irresponsibility, this irresponsibility, of course, is defined in terms of insincerity. Because according to the king, for you not to have said to me directly that you love your father, that is insincerity. That is the reason why, of course, he had taken away the part of the land, the kingdom. He has already divided among the three daughters. Say you can't say that to me, Cordelia. Our words divide the whole kingdom between the two sisters, your elder sister, between Gonnery and Regan. And of course, we see how the king, the head of Kent and the head of Gloucester, particularly the head of Kent, says, "Oh king, you have made a very grievous mistake by dividing your land into two kingdoms, into two, between the world, into two husbands. This is what will bring about the downfall of the kingdom, the whole kingdom." But the king says, "This is way I'm going to do this. For you to have even intercepted into my ruling, you are being banished from this country." And this is the fact that what actually happened in the previous class. We, of course, discussed this in the previous class. But we see how the king of France says, in spite of the fact that the king has stripped you of your gift, of your dowry, I see sincerity and dignity in you, I will take you as my wife. And we see how Cordelia travels along the way from the country, the kingdom of her father, to France, and see how this actually transpires really in the play. And we see after continue, we actually stop. The head of Gloucester and the head of Kent, we made mention of this already, and we see meanwhile Gloucester has introduced his illegitimate son, by the way, Edmund, to Kent. They discussed this, that in fact I love Edmund in spite of the Edmund illegitimacy as my son, but of course I love his elder brother, Elja. Elja is my legitimate son, and he's the one that must inherit my property. And this is a kind of subplot of the play. Now, Lear along the way announces he will live alternately with Gonnery and Regan and their husbands. So he reserved to himself a retinue of 100 knights. Knights is like a kind of soldiers, kind of 100 soldiers, that between I would like spend particular days with Gonnery, then afterwards I'll move to Regan to stay. Then I must have, as a king of the land, still I might retire in a way, but I am still the king. But my daughters, they're kind of my representatives. I'll still be the one to give them orders. This is what you ought to do. This is what you ought to do. Right? But I'll pay them visits, right, regularly, but I'll have to alternate this visit between them. By doing so, I must go along with 100 knights to visit my daughters. Alright, and this continues. And we see how Gonnery and Regan speak privately. They talk evils of their father behind the scene. They say that we have to be very careful. If our father and king could decide to do this to Cordelia, right? How less do you think the father, the king, will not do to us? So we have to prepare ourselves, because it's like this king is mad. How could the father just decide because of he doesn't say, "Oh, I can't express my feeling this way." Now say, "Okay, because of that, I'm stripping you of your possession." This is very bad, and this is the mindset and the preparation that the Regan and Gonnery is talking about. Their preparation, of course, and the plan is to what? Is to malign, to disgrace and discredit their own father. Now, Gloucester, husband, Gloucester, bastard son Edward, resents his illegitimate status and plot to dispose of his legitimate legal brother by the name Edgar. So we see how he tricks his father with a forged letter, right? Making him to think that Edgar is planning to kill and to take away the possession from the father, particularly the estate of the father away from him. So we see the importance of letter here. The letter plays a role in terms of, we see how Edmund, an illegitimate son of Gloucester, because of jealousy and greed and wickedness and ferocity, that it seems that my father, as a result of my what? The status of my birth, my father now hates me, says, as a result, because you are being what? You are being given birth to out of the wedlock. So for that reason, according to the rule and laws in England then, back in the day, an illegitimate son will not inherit anything of the property of his father. As a result of this, we see Edmund trying to how will I make this happen on my own side? So that I will possess, I will inherit of the properties of my father. But the lesson to this is to forge a letter, incriminating his elder brother by the name Elgar. That Elgar is trying to, by force, take the possession of your exit away from you. In fact, to the extent that he even want to kill you, our father. So we see in that scene how Edmund, right, after forging the letter, right, like holding the letter at the back of his like this, and the father is coming straight. The father says, Edmund, what is it you're hiding from me? Nothing, father. Are you saying nothing? I see a letter from you. You're hiding something from me. Okay, so then by force we see how Gloucester taking away the letter from Edmund. But no, Edmund is an epitome of pretense. He understands quite well that this letter is written and forged by him, trying to implicate his elder legitimate Elgar, by the name Elgar, right? But in doing so, he has to actually pretend as if he's something important. Hiding from me what? Hiding from his own father. Now, after the father taking away the letter and see the content of the letter, the father is like, oh, have you read this? So I read this, but I didn't want you to see it because I wouldn't know how you feel about the content of the letter. Are you see? Elgar want to kill me? I never taken away the possession from me, my estate. So, oh, the father is kind of furious and called his retinue of his what? Of his steward. You must find Elgar and bring him before me now. So, because we understand Edmund being an illegitimate son and very wicked and greedy, quickly trying to manipulate and trying to find Elgar. Edmund is like, oh. Edmund is like, Elgar, oh, are you okay? Our father is very angry at you now. You must find a way not to get close to him because he might harm you. What are we going to do now? You have to run away as quickly as possible. Right? So the moment we see the father and sister is coming closer, and they hear the voice of the two, we see how Edmund is like, oh, taking this sword to protect yourself. In the course of that, they pretend, say, you try you want to fight me, right? Then when the father's like, we see how Elgar actually escapes. Then in the course of that, we see how Edmund, illegitimate, greedy, and wicked, he actually deliberately harm himself. He's like, oh, father, you see, oh, he has wounded me. He wanted to kill me, right? But don't worry. So we see how Moses is saying, I won't worry, I have disowned him. Now you will be the one to inherit my possession. Right? So we see how Elgar is running skater from one island to another to escape the fury of his own father. And this is a story for you. And let's see what we can do. Action. Yeah. We are still in Act 1, and we see what actually transpired already. And we see how this guy has actually escaped from the land. And remember that King Lear has banished King, Earl of Kent. And we see the returning of Kent now. In this guy, he actually comes back. Right? And in Act 1, we also witness the maltreatment meted out to King Lear by his two daughters, namely Goneril and Regan. Now we see how Goneril, when of course King Lear paid a visit to Goneril. Goneril and her husband, the Duke of Albany, is like, oh, Goneril is like, oh, I'm sick, I'm sick, kind of tired of my king behaving as if he holds everything the king owns the house, right? Then we see our God is like, oh, calling is still what is servant, me as servant, to tell the king to me, not to misbehave in my own house. The king says, God is like, Father, please, I wouldn't know if you can reduce the number of your servants, your 900, you can reach to 50. The king is like, is our daughter talking to us like this? Right? Then, in the process of that, this is very terrible. We see our king feel very terrible. That I give you after all, I give back to you, and the same process, I give you everything, my kingdom. Now this is the way you're going to behave to me. Oh hell, oh heaven, oh God, how could a daughter betray his own father? This is transpiring in the play. And we see the wickedness of the daughter towards our own father. This is wickedness, and what this is kind of what? But we have to look at the same time that the king's failure and downfall is his inability to differentiate between appearance and reality. And we see how, the head of kings protested, saying, King, my Lord, this is a grievous mistake. How could you, in your wildest dream, divide your kingdom into two? Right? King said, how could you do that? You are intercepting my ruling. Because of that, you are banished. This is another mistake made by the king. And this is very grievous at the same time. But we will later remember that, in fact, King is right, and King is the only servant, and of course, loyal friend to King, that really have to decide and come back to kingdom. Because as he heard about the news that, in fact, the daughters being maltreated the king. So, I have to what? Come back to the king of the country in disguise. Say, the king, I'm ready to serve you all the way down, all over again. Right? This is very real in the story. Anyway, we have to put a stop to the story right here. Of course, God willing, we're going to continue where we stop next class.